Hayward. And now he's going to shoot a few more as he's fouled going up for it.
I'm watching the coach's reaction right now, and I'll tell you, he's not going to be happy about that. Game comes down to the micro details. That wasn't a part of the plan right there.
Okay, before I start this video, I would like to start off with a disclaimer, because this seems to be a hard thing for people to understand. I am not a quote-unquote 2K fanboy or a live fanboy, which I'm pretty sure there is only one live fanboy in the world, and that is Flight React. I have actively been rooting for NBA Live to surpass 2K. Whether you're in the 2K community or the live community, there is a basic economic principle that should make you root for the success of the opposition, and that principle is competition. The reason NBA 2K18 and 17 and 16 have all been pretty bad, especially 2K18, is because they have no competition. 2K has a monopoly in the basketball gaming market, and 2K knows this, so they have no motivation to improve their game, because what are you gonna do, play NBA Live? They might as well riddle the game with microtransactions, because what are you gonna do, play NBA Live? 2K has survived off of what are you gonna do, play NBA Live for the past couple of years. If NBA Live were a comparable game to 2K, 2K would have a much better product because it would have the motivation to improve their game to compete with NBA Live. So I want NBA Live to succeed, but with that being said, I will not baby this product. I will not let it get away with things simply because it is NBA Live. Too many reviews of this game that I see treat this game like how a teacher treats a bad student who finally does something good. Oh look, little Timmy didn't paint all over the walls, I'm gonna give him a cookie. No, fuck little Timmy, I never painted on the walls, where's my damn cookie? That story may or may not be rooted in vivid memories of my childhood. Anyways, in this video, I'm going to look at how Live compares to 2K, not how Live compares to Live. So let's look at the good, the bad, and the ugly of NBA Live 19 so far. Another quick disclaimer, everything I'm about to say is based off of about probably 10-ish hours of playing the Live 19 demo. I've played a lot of Celtics versus Warriors games, I've played a good amount of one-on-one, and I've played through the one thing, which is basically my career. And I've even done the drills, which will definitely be appearing in the ugly section of this video. Pretty much everything that you can do in this demo, I have done. Okay, so on the good, well, fairly conveniently, I actually about a month ago bought Live 18 because I was tired of 2K's bullshit and played a good amount of the 1. Now unfortunately I don't have any screen footage of the 1 because I played through it before I recorded and I don't know how to create another one. So I'm just going to go off of what I've experienced between the two. Basically it's the same storyline as Live 18, which sounds like a negative, but here's the thing. I actually liked Live 18's storyline a lot, mostly because it wasn't much of a storyline. In Live 18, the storyline felt like a small part of the actual game mode, which is what many of us have been wanting out of 2K for a long time. I don't have to tell you how overbearing and just plain awful 2K18's My Career was this year, mostly due to this abomination. But Live 18 had a simple storyline. Your player was a big-time high school player that got a big injury, everyone doubted him, and your guy plays in a bunch of street ball games and the Drew League and stuff like that, and then you make it to the league. That's basically what Live 19's story is. The same thing, but improved upon. As for the gameplay, the first thing I noticed is with the shooting, I felt like good timing was consistently rewarded. If you timed your shot well, you made it. If you didn't make it. One of the many problems I've had with 2K is how good timing would not be rewarded. Doesn't seem to be the case in NBA Live. Another thing Live has done better than 2K is off of the dribble or moving shots. Pull-up mid-range and shots with momentum going one way or the other were slightly harder to time than standing shots, but they weren't significantly harder to hit, which I was a fan of. In 2K18, if you take a shot off of an odd catch or you get a much slower animation because you're coming off of an angle, those shots never went in. Another massive improvement Live has made from 18 to 19 is the custom jump shots of the players. Now they are far from perfect. I think Tatum's shot is off, Horford's is questionable, but I think Kyrie's is great, Hayward's is great, Harden's in the practice mode looked good, and Klay Thompson's form was fantastic. The best recreation of his shot that I've seen by a mile. Honestly, it's dead on. And the pick and roll was much improved from Live 18. The bad. Well, like I said, the career mode was very much the same as Live 18, just minus a lot of the bad. Well, the career mode wasn't the only thing that carried directly over. The halftime shows and commentaries are the same as Live 18 and equally as dull and unimaginative as the previous game. The commentary in this game can put you to sleep.
Their team was able to get control to start this one.
And when both teams are playing at this level, it just continues to reaffirm that I was excited to watch both of these teams play this entire week.
And another part of the career mode that carried over was the upgrading system. You essentially get one skill point per game. You play to upgrade one skill, and you only get to upgrade a few skills related to your player archetype. And for the player accessories, you have to get them from crates that cost you 1,000 to 3,000 or more cash, I guess is what you would call the currency, to get a random accessory. Say you want a black right knee sleeve, well, you have to purchase the crate and hope that you don't get a red left leg sleeve. And for the gameplay, like I said, for a positive, the shooting being timed well is rewarded. Well, sometimes that's to a fault. Contested shots being timed well seem to go in at the same rate as open ones if they're timed well. I played as the Celtics a few times, and every time the shot clock was running down, Kyrie would bail me out by hitting a really contested mid-range shot, simply because I timed it well. With Stephen Curry, I just pulled up in Marcus Morris's face and he nailed it. Really tough step-back jumpers, well-timed open shots, and well-timed contested shots have the same result, a bucket. And that shouldn't happen, because it really doesn't feel like you are punished for getting or taking a bad shot, which really leads to the feeling of defense not mattering. At the worst, and at the very best, it feels like you have little impact on what actually happens. Shots going in around the rim no matter how well you contest, jumpers going in when you're smothering the shooters, blocks feel completely predetermined. Anytime there's a block, you can see it coming from a mile away. There are times where you shoot a layup and you know it's going to get blocked even before your defender jumps. You just feel it, because you know it's going to happen, and it does. This applies to getting blocked and getting blocks. And the steals are just a clusterfuck. Pretty much everything was a reach-in foul or it just led to nothing. A lot of these issues also felt very one-sided. I would miss a layup like this, and then the CPU would make a layup like this. And I played a variety of difficulties, and this trend continued. Live's weird obsession with hook shots in their game carried over to this game, unfortunately. One of the weird quirks you'll notice playing Live is how much the CPU takes hook shots when it doesn't make sense or it's just out of character for the player. Al Horford going for a hook when everyone's jumping around him when it could just go into the paint. Same here for Durant. And even freaking Stephen Curry posted up on Rozier and did his best Kareem impression. Out of character, like I said. And one more thing, good to great ball handlers were picking up their dribble way too often. For no reason. It's not like Kyrie was pressured here. He just picked the ball up for some reason, which with like Klay Thompson, you'd be like, okay, that's fine, he dribbles like a third grader, but this is Kyrie freaking Irving. This is something I noticed with Allen Iverson in the intro game as well, which I unfortunately have no footage of. There also just overall isn't enough feel in the ball handling. And let's quickly get into the WNBA. Wait, no one cares. Now, I don't want to give the impression that because these upcoming clips are in the ugly section that they are only mild annoyances, because from an individual basis, sure, they are mild annoyances, but when they are stacked up together, it starts to get very annoying. Now, none of these are game-breaking, they make the game look really bad, and when the game just looks bad, that's enough to put 2K well over it. One thing that I noticed is how often players just slid around on certain shooting animations. Kyrie here on a step back and Durant here off the inbound pass. Weird glitchy animations where DeMarcus is stuttering in and out of bounds, where he's stuttering out of the post, and occasionally arms would flail on jumpers. Like this one from Jason Tatum. This weird jumper animation where even on an open shot you would fall back as if someone was smothering you even when they weren't. These animations where DeMarcus Cousins has no momentum on his side going to the rim, and for whatever reason he tries to and then eventually successfully dunks when it makes no sense to go for a dunk in the position that he's in. Also, there's this like really weird shot that happened like 3 different times for me in the first game that I played, and then it didn't happen after that. But if this is going to be a reoccurring thing, it is very early in the shot clock. And the most annoying thing that, honestly, thinking back, this should have gone into the bad section, is late passes. Something that pissed me off in 2K is even more extreme in this game. I clicked the pass button to Tatum at this point, and a full 2.5 seconds later, I timed this with my phone, Kyrie throws the pass when it's too late. That's a game-breaking glitch, and it needs to be fixed. And from the thumbnail, as you can see, the screenshots that we got before the demo were frankly bullshit. They were manipulated with lighting effects and things like that, because as you can see from my thumbnail, this isn't quite right. Outside of the players, the graphics are subpar, and outside of the players' faces, which again were made to seem better than they actually were, the hair just looks weird. Kyrie's beard reminds me of Nathan Drake's boss from Uncharted 4. Old and unkempt looking. Player's hair looks like it's made of spray-on sponge, if that's a thing. Overall, this game is really fun, and I will be buying it mostly for the career mode because 2K's My Career has become a disaster. But it's still not comparable to 2K. It's an improvement from Live 18, but still sadly just not a good basketball game overall. That's the end of the video. Please be sure to like and subscribe for more NBA content like this, and cue the outro music.